Hi everyone, how you doing today? So one of you guys contacted me and was talking about how that he was losing winners 6 weeks to 8 weeks. They were dying, and after asking him some few questions, I realized that he was wondering I was responsible for their mortality. So, and what was the mistake he made? The mistake he made was that he saw that the winners were like one or two were not so active or something like that. Then he started injecting them. But before they became not so active, I realized that he weaned them from their mother too early. I always say it on this channel that you should try and let your rabbits stay with their mother from between 6 weeks to 8 weeks before you talk about weaning them from their mother. This is very important. The longer they stay with their mother, the higher their chance of surviving when you finally win them. So don't win them too early. So this guy win them too early, and as a result of that, the rabbit were dying. And he now, as the rabbit were not so strong, he now began to inject them. So the rabbit started dying. So I told him that you want this mortality thing to stop the injection. If you stop the injection, then the mortality also will stop. So that was exactly what he did. He stopped injecting them, and then I told him to get Fluoxetine. I've talked about Fluoxetine several times on this channel before, as a very good antibiotics for your rabbits, and it's also very good for a lot of respiratory issues. Some of the things that we get, things like tylosin, tetrates to treat, which is an injection, Fluoxetine can actually handle it. We are going to get in this video. So he actually gave them Fluoxetine inside their drinking water for like 3 days, and the rabbits stopped dying. So the two mistakes he made was that he weaned them from their mother too early. Number one. Number two is that he was injecting rabbits that are very small. Those rabbits are too small. They really cannot withstand so much injection at this stage. As a matter of fact, I don't advise you to inject any rabbit that is less than 3 months. Any rabbit that is less than 3 months, please do not inject them. Don't inject any rabbit that is less than 3 months. I always tell people, try and let them be 3 months and above before you start talking of administering any kind of a injection whatsoever. So that being said, that was what he did, and the rabbit stopped dying and they survived. So knowledge is very, very important when it comes to rabbit farming. The rabbits that are winners are too small. They really cannot withstand so much weakness that comes from injection. I've also seen people whereby they say the rabbit is very weak, and the next thing they want to do is to inject the rabbit. This is a very wrong approach. It's like human being. If you go to the hospital, the doctor will ask you sometime, even after they have prescribed injection for you, they will ask you that, have you eaten? Which means they are trying to say that you're supposed to eat before you take any injection whatsoever. So if you have not eaten, it is risky to inject you. You might faint, anything can happen. The same thing applies to rabbits. You understand? If your rabbits are very weak, injecting them is not the next thing, especially for winners. They don't have so much strength to withstand the injection. You understand? So I always advise to actually rather go for oral medication for your winners instead of injection. Avoid injection totally. Now that being said, another person also reached out, one of my customer in the east, and his rabbit was coughing. He even sent the video to me. The rabbit would not stop coughing. He was coughing and coughing and coughing. So I told him to get a leucine injection, but on the other hand, I knew that he was a beginner. He might not be able to inject the rabbit, so I asked him to also get um what's it called, Fluoxetine, which he actually did, and he applied the Fluoxetine for a period of 3 days. And after the application of that Fluoxetine for 3 days, the rabbit actually stopped the coughing. So he asked if he still needs to give them the uh, tylosin injection. And I told him, I said, there's no need for any tylosin injection anymore. Since the rabbit you want to inject have stopped, they have stopped, what's it called? They are no longer coughing, so there's no need to inject anymore. And that was better for him because he has not injected rabbit before. Even though I know I have made a video on this channel on how to inject rabbit, but then he still probably hasn't done it before. He doesn't have an experience and might just made a mistake. And so as to avoid the mistake, he actually used the fluoxetine, which was a lot more effective and better. So what I'm trying to share with you in this video today is that number one, make sure that your rabbits stay enough time with their mother before you wean them. I personally recommend 6 weeks to 8 weeks before you wean them. You understand? When they stay longer with their mother, when you wean them, their chances of survival and doing well on their own is higher compared to when you wean them early. When you wean them too early, their immune system is not strong enough and it will affect them in no small way. So always try to actually let your rabbit stay longer with their mother before you wean them. That being said, another lesson here today is that if you have a rabbit experiencing coughing, seriously coughing, then instead of even going for tyrosine injection, you can just apply fluoxetine and then you are good to go. Then don't inject winner's rabbit. Don't inject winner's rabbit. Instead of going for injection, just go for the oral drug, which can be administered via their water. So I believe you have learned one or two things in the video today. If you have further questions, drop it in the comment section and I will be there to answer your question. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye for now.